Welcome to the Naked Under the Table show, where we say what we think because we are just as naked under the table as you are. We've got nothing under the table, and nothing is off the table. Our weekly golden nuggets are delivered hot and fresh by your favorite half-naked people, Martin, Denise, and Elsie. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. That was my best
Like
attempt
a
as
horror
an
film.
Orson Welles kind of, kind of,
Orson Welles speech.
voice, like where
Oh,
everything's going to shit.
I thought it was your sexual harassment
Deeper.
voice.
It has.
Well, I
It
would
sounds like
imagine
that.
Orson might have
I
been
got a
very up.
little bit I got a little bit extra
It has
warm.
to be really deeper. Like, welcome.
I know, I
to the Naked
can't.
Under the
I
Table.
can't. But before I continue, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second episode of our anniversary month. And if you guys tuned in last week, you guys know that our celebratory efforts are doing a redux on all our best series. Last week, we did one of our series, Misunderstood Monsters, and we talked about Snow White's Evil Queen. And today, we are reduxing our science fiction series. And we are going to cover a new episode talking about Extinction. And our host for the evening, taking us through the gallant science fiction space or whatever area, is Elsie DeLeon. Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the end of the world. This
You should have
is
done the
the
intro.
end of the road,
This is
as
so
we know
annoying.
it.
Nobody wants to do the intro but me, and then I get canned because I try to do an Orson Welles voice.
It's hard to do. It's
What?
hard to
It
do
is.
Orson Welles.
That was my
It's
best
just
attempt.
really deep.
My best attempt.
You have to be like Galvatron. You have to be
Right?
so
It's
deep.
so hard. Or maybe we could
But
do
it's
totally any
beautiful.
better. Welcome to the nuts. Just kidding.
No, it's not as
No.
not as distinct
Okay.
as Orson
Yeah.
Welles,
Okay.
man. I think that is the ultimate radio voice throughout time would
Right?
be Orson
Right?
Welles.
Gotta try
Yeah.
it, David. What's his name? David Attenborough.
Yeah.
What's the
David
name of that
Attenborough.
famous?
Oh man,
We could go more modern and Casey Kasem this shit, but
that would be so MTV-ish, you know.
right? The Billboard Top
Right,
100.
right.
Anyway, back to you, Elsie.
Anyways, guys, we are going to be talking about extinction and the extinction. So, brazenly saying the extinction of us, the extinction of the human race as we know it. And this is all just fanfare, everybody. This is all nothing serious. Do not worry. We are not actually going extinct. I think so. But
Yes.
let us try to imagine that this is our end of days. So it's gonna be fun. It's all fun fair. It's all for shits and giggles. So I will start with the first question. The world is not enough. Overpopulation, as we know it, is cited as one of the causes for humankind's demise. What are your personal theories on this? You can actually think of a different theory other than overpopulation, but try to stick to real theories if you know any. So
First.
I want to know what you guys think. Let's start with, of course, uh, women first. Martin, I want to know what you think.
Oh,
I got scared there for a minute.
thank you.
Beautiful girl.
Yeah, man. I all my feminine sides, Um, a theory on extinction. So I know there's many. I don't know, for some reason or another. I'm very drawn to nature, not as being our enemy, but to nature as being our eventual doom. In terms of either Like there's so many things just on Earth that can happen to make the planet uninhabitable. So many things in the universe that can happen to make the planet uninhabitable. Um, but a theory that I'm really interested in is a very overarching theory, I guess, which is the one of the great filter. The question of how come, like the theory of the great filter is that when you try to explain why we don't know of any what is it like there's types of civilizations, LC, can you help me with this one? What's the top tier of civilization?
The top tier, I think, is the Type 4, which is a totally neural linked civilization, the highest level that we can achieve. I think there's also a level 5, but
I was gonna say that
most.
the top level is type A. You know, those people that know what they want and get what they want. Just
You
kidding.
mean the people that get up early in the morning?
So it's type A, baby. I'm
Fuck
just
those
kidding.
guys.
I'm
But
just
yeah,
kidding.
Martin. But yeah, Martin,
but
when
but
we achieve that. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
so the theory is basically there. So why have we never encountered aliens? Well, the theory goes because there aren't any. Why aren't there any civilizations that are so advanced that they would be able to travel around in space, even past space time, like even
Right,
past space time and light years and whatnot? And the
right,
theory goes because of the great filter. There's simply no civilization that, for any reason, have gotten that far due to the
right.
insane amount of chance that luck, let's say, the insane amount of luck that you would have to encounter not to get extinct by the time you reach that kind of technological advance. And that's probably the theory that interests me the most. Like, it interests me more to know why, or to figure out why we haven't, why perceivably nobody has breached a certain point in terms of like existence, then what's going to exterminate us, because it's just so many things. It could be ourselves, it could be nature, it could be fucking asteroids, or it's just so many things. So I'm more interested in that theory, like the great filter theory.
That's very interesting, Martin. It reminds me, what you just said reminds me of a science fiction anime called Battleship Yamato, wherein they discovered the Type 4 civilization. And in this civilization, everybody in that planet is connected to one single entity. They're like a hive mind, but not. They're like a hive mind with individualism. It was so hard to understand. It gave me a headache as a kid. It's still giving me a headache now as an adult watching the
Because he's
anime
still a
again.
kid. He never grew up.
Because it that could be, Denise. But yeah, but it's a very interesting theory on how a Type 4 civilization would work, or
Yeah,
theoretically can work. And in that anime, they theorize that it's one consciousness that's all linked together within the
that's one
planet's
German
core.
beer.
It's amazing.
Yes, one
It's amazing.
consciousness and one German beer. Cheers, everybody. Cheers
Cheers.
on
Cheers, cheers,
Monday.
cheers to
Zup,
my
zup, zup,
coffee.
zup.
Cheers to the
Sorry to
extinction of the
interrupt,
world.
Elsie. Yeah.
No problem. No problem. How about you, Denise? What are your personal theories on this?
Um, so definitely they're the stuffs like, the sun is still a star and eventually it will supernova. And if the supernova itself doesn't kill off all the planets nearby, we are the third rock from the sun. That's pretty damn close. The lack of the light from the sun and the heat from the sun and all that solar energy would cause us to get extinct. A meteor that could hit us, of course, is one of the most plausible theories for extinction. But I think my personal favorite is one that's not talked about very often, but is highly plausible, that is connected to things like the sun and our orbits and all of that. It's what they call the circadian theory of extinction. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the concept of circadian, it connotes to how we have a natural rhythm and a natural biological response to time,
Our
specifically a
natural
24
clock.
hour. Yeah, our natural clock, which is the 24-hour clock. And it's not necessarily that we all have the same number of hours in a 24-hour day. But for example, we know when it's night, we know when it's day. Our bodies behave different when there's natural sunlight versus when there's no sunlight. Things like winter versus summer, when it's cold versus hot. So all of this has to do with our circadian rhythm as it is today. And there is a theory that over time, the circadian time frame, if you will, of the Earth will elongate, meaning the rotation around the axis will actually slow down. So our
Mm.
days literally become longer. So instead of a 24-hour period, we could end up having days long as we know it now. So uh, what would be from sunrise to sunset could be 72 hours long. And a lot of people wouldn't survive this, even if it's a slow kind of slowing down. Haha, funny. Slowing down. But the human body is biologically designed for this current circadian rhythm. So there's a theory that goes that if the circadian rhythm as it is today changes, the humans as we know today would also go extinct.
That's interesting, Denise. And yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
would be great for very productive people, right? That want, like, you know the saying, if there was
Sure,
like
just not
25
doing
hours in a
hours in
day.
a day. There you go,
Yeah.
guys.
It's like, fuck,
What
there's
if we have
72 hours in a day now? Great.
Wow, wow.
Bring it
Well,
on.
theoretically, we can live longer in that sense. But yeah, that's interesting, Denise, and that is very linked to actual theories. There are theories that we are slowing down. A very plausible theory is we are actually heating up the world. We are actually it's really actually heating up. It's getting hotter. So sooner or later, in a couple of 100 years, that could be very plausible that we will just all burn to death, and not just us. The bad side is we just burned every living creature on Earth as well. We took them along in this stupid ride that we've created. But you're right. That's very very scary. My theory on this, my personal favorite is Stephen Hawking actually did a theory on man-made viruses and vaccines at the same time. So these are very plausible theories that can actually end all of us. If this vaccine for, let's say, for this pandemic right now goes south, goes haywire, this is so scary, and it's a very tricky critical subject to talk about. I wouldn't want to talk about that, but it's actually a theory that can happen. There you go. There we go. According to our producer, 6 degrees can change the world. Yeah, 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 and it's pretty scary. So Stephen Hawking, wherever you are, if you're still metaphysically with us, you are probably right when it comes to all these
I love how you
brilliant
went. Are you
theories.
still metaphysically with us? Kudos to you, Elsie. Well put, man. Well put.
Well, we don't know who can answer that. We can't prove or disprove it, and that's
Yeah,
my
he
take on
definitely
the
can't answer
afterlife.
that.
He
You
he
know,
or
if
he
he lived
can't.
a
He
little bit
can or he
longer, he
can't. We
might
don't
have
know.
been able to, though. That's the ironic part. He might have actually been able to. Yeah.
I want to talk more about our personal theories. Maybe through the course of the show, we would actually get back to that. But for now, I want to talk more about a social solution. Imagine yourself as a high ranking official, let's say the UN or WHO or whatever that may be in the future. You have massive influence. You have great influence. You're like the top medical advisor, and they'll follow you whatever you say. What will you do? We're now in this pandemic. What will you do?
Is this to help control and prevent extinction, or
Yes,
in what sense?
yes,
Yeah.
definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
So
To to to
to
to to,
protect us
to
from
better
extinction. Yeah.
to help us. If this is getting if this is going all south, and we're probably heading to a extinction level virus, what will you do?
Yeah, I would definitely point at the guy next to me and said, Why don't you ask him? Ask that guy.
I would do the same. Hey, you just pointed to
Oh
me. I'm
God,
the guy
guys, the
next to you.
world is damned. We are all in trouble now, man. You have a
Yeah,
people in like Arthur's like table of knights, and they're all pointing at the guy to the right.
yeah, man. I would be like, yeah. So, Rebecca, you are the environmental expert. What do you say about this?
Then you take all the credit when she has the. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She's absolutely right. That's what we're gonna do.
No, no. Jokes aside, what could you do to fix things? So um, the truth is, it depends on so many things. First of all, what is it, right? There would be instances where we're talking about imminent. I mean, just doom. Like you can't do anything. Like it's just too late. Like you just can't. Whatever. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. I think at this point, well, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but I would say that at this point we do have technology to kind of predict at least a good amount of catastrophic incidences ahead of time. Although there are still, of course, massive earthquakes that seep through the cracks, and tsunamis and whatnot, But it would also have to be a pretty huge tsunami to kill the world. In terms of the other types of extinction, or other types of problems like climate change or whatnot, pandemics and viruses. I don't know how much you could do to influence, how much you can do to influence it. Like central planning is not possible. But we've seen, like, during how, like, whatever you can say about how the pandemic now has been handled, or how people are handling climate change. It is very difficult to coordinate on a, even like just on a
Yeah, on a
small.
global scale. Yeah, on a small scale. What more a global one? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's very limited what you can do, but I would say that even though it is limited, I would say that to a great extent we have managed to have some sort of coherence in the way that we, at least the majority of the world, or a big part of the world, managed to respond to certain problematic scenarios.
We're
Although we're
faster. We're
far
faster
from
than
there.
ever before. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
faster than ever before, though. Through
yeah.
history, we are by far, this generation has been the fastest to respond to any global situation. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Catch me if you
That's a
can.
good thing. How about you, Denise? What will you do? Not to solve anything. Let's just say that just to help. If
Yeah.
solving something this massive is too much, which is I totally understand that it's too much for anyone or any country or any governing faction to solve. What will you do to help, or what
It's
can you
interesting
do?
because my answer had a lot to do with a comment that just appeared on the live stream from Red.
Hmm.
And Red made a snarky comment about UN. Huh? Tell the truth. That's it. You know. Um, and we've talked sometimes in this show, and I think
That's
one
good advice,
episode,
man.
it is good advice. It is good advice.
Just tell the truth.
And I think in one episode in particular, talking, I think about Area 51, and we delved a little bit into government cover-ups and propaganda and stuff. um, while we understand why certain things need to be kept secret, I'm of the personal opinion that the more you hide stuff from your constituents, the more they will not get in line, they will rebel. It will actually be harder for you to win them over toward one singular action or a joint movement, if you will, if they feel like they're not getting the whole story. And so my formal answer would be, the best thing you can really do is inform people. Work on education programs where you tell them properly, maybe not all at once so you don't overwhelm them, but progressively disclose what they need to know. And give some credit that while, yes, there are some people that panic, that don't understand, that will be driven by fear and then start rioting or picketing, the thing is that happens anyway when you don't tell the truth. So if you're asking me
Right.
to risk certain behavior of chaos and rioting on telling the truth versus keeping it, I would definitely tell the truth. And the reason
Mm.
I wanted to start with some good educational programs or information dissemination where we tell them the truth is not all bad. As Martin said, thankfully, we're in a position where there's a lot of things we can do and a lot of resources we can maximize, everything from technology to our own human intellect. And maybe by being very open and sharing all of what's really going on in the world, you might have some ingenious person sitting somewhere in the corner of wherever who actually has a solution that otherwise we would not have heard about or we would not have thought might work simply
Right.
because they didn't know what the real problems are. And I feel that is for me the safest, least aggressive, and funnily enough, socialist. And this is a social question you asked. It is a very socialist thing to do. Everybody has access to the same things, and everybody should have access to the same information. And that's personally, for me, the best thing I think I could do.
In a lot of extinction movies, going to Red's comment, in a lot of extinction movies, extinction level, like an asteroid falling down, coming down on Earth. There was this movie I just saw a few days ago, starring Gerard Butler. I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember. Anyways,
But it must be a
the
great movie.
Gerard Butler. Anyways,
The
the
naked truth,
UN.
the ugly truth, or whatever.
No, 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 no.
Worst
The
movie
UN,
ever.
the UN had to hide a lot from the masses for the mere fact that if they announce a meteorite heading to Earth and devastating everybody, there would be mass panic, which eventually happened in the movie when the truth came out.
Exactly.
War instantly
And you
started,
don't
but they
give
were trying
time.
to. I think the problem was in the movie, according to the movie, was how will you filter the truth? You can't give it instantly in one go, for the fact that there might be riots. You have to probably slow it down. Okay, stage one, we might all die. Something like that. You can't just give it
And
to.
that's what I was talking about, progressive disclosure.
Right,
You
right,
don't have
right,
to launch everything at them. But
right, right.
if extinction, for example, is an inevitability, it's something you can't delay. And by hiding
You
the
can.
truth or keeping the truth, you are also trying to delay inevitability, which anybody will tell you is the worst thing to do. Do not try to delay the inevitable. And in
I
doing
like
things
what you
like
said,
that,
Denise.
yeah,
Right. I love what you said. I mean, you just said it spot on. Here's the truth, everybody. It's not how or it's not why. It's
it's
when.
when.
This
It's
is
when.
this is really gonna happen. We just don't know. Probably 100 years. Probably 10 years. Probably 10,000 years. We don't know. These are things that are so scary. So, you know what they say: live your life as though it was your last. Yeah, I think that's a great way of living your life.
And that's the
Even
other
when
point of why I think it's very important to let human beings know as soon as possible because
right,
it
right.
gives them time to set their affairs in order. People can
That's
say
right.
goodbye, people can make amends,
Hmm.
people can,
Hmm.
if you save it till the last minute, people run out of time
That's
to,
right. That's right.
make things up
Right.
for their lives. Yeah.
Right. There was actually a movie about that. It was called "Seeking a Friend for the End of the World," and people had a countdown. The government, the world government, in this point, told everybody, the whole world, that hey guys, we only have like a week to go. We're all dead. So everybody was just partying, saying their goodbyes. Well, of course, there's gonna be riots here and there, but at least they had the time to do whatever they wanted to do. Albeit there's gonna be a lot of riots, though. Probably a lot of arson and
Well, you know what they
rape.
say, the truth shall set you free. For all you know, the
Yeah.
riots that we are so afraid people are going to do will be massive parties and they will suddenly
Could
embrace
be.
freedoms that
Could
societally they
be.
couldn't have done before. People start walking around buck naked,
The,
having
the
sex wherever
ultimate
they want
V
to,
Hotel party.
staring at people. You know what I mean? Like, and 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 that's the point. When you control information, that's really what you're doing is controlling people. And you are
Right.
in a position of power because people put you there. You do not get
Right.
to control them. You have to serve them. And that's, the one thing you got to be is honest.
Right. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the world of fantasy. This is something I'm actually excited to talk about. I call this the fanaticism of fixture. Okay, let us remove ourselves from reality. Let's subscribe to something truly crazy and astonishing. I'm sure everybody knows about the Infinity Stones, the Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, the Marvel Universe, and all that. That's the biggest, probably one of the biggest movies ever made. And to the to the people out there who don't know it, which is pretty much probably non-existent. It's the Infinity Gauntlet is in the comic books and in the Marvel movies is a gauntlet which holds the Infinity Stones. Now the Infinity Stones are like the most powerful thing in the universe. They are actually what makes the universe the universe. It's the physical embodiment of what the universe is. So it's been there ever since the universe started. So it's when you hold that to make things short, when you hold that, when you wield all the stones together, you can do anything you want, as in anything. One snap, one thought, one whim will be reality. So that's how powerful it is. Now, for fun's sake, I want to know, let's say we have the Infinity Stones, the three of us. Each of us will get our turn, let's say. And I want to know where you're going to place the stone. Where are you going to place it? And what will you do? If this is, if we are in this time of pandemic now, what will you do? I can see the obvious answer. I can see the obvious answer, but you still have the stones. It's easy to, I'll take out COVID, sure. But you have the stones. What else will you do? I want to know. I really want to know what you guys think.
You
Denise?
had an extra question of, yeah, you said first where we're going to place the stones. And I know
Right.
primarily this is a podcast, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my infinity necklace. For
Ah.
those of you who are not watching the live stream, I have a necklace with different colored stones that quite closely resemble the infinity stone. So I'm going to put that on around my neck.
You have
So
the
it's a display of,
infinity necklace. The
yes, right?
infinity necklace.
Right? So it's
Holy
not only close to me, it's also a distinct display of power because, in the olden times when you were regal or in a position of power, even in indigenous tribes, they give you a
right.
necklace or some kind of,
That's right.
so
That's
you
right.
all know, this is her right here, right there. All right there.
Nice.
Thank you so
The
much.
infinity necklace.
An infinity necklace. So what would I do? I'll just use my quick guide here. You know how the different stones have different powers, right? So I would use them to grant human beings different powers. So space would be the ability to have spatial reasoning and the ability to actually see the world in four-dimensional instead of the usual three-dimensional,
Wow. That's gonna be
because I
crazy.
think that would give us better solutions. The mind stone, I wouldn't give them the ability to control minds, but to use a larger portion of their brains, because as you know, we're not actually maximizing our current brain capacity. So I would use the
Well,
mind stone for us to be able
in
to
some
max.
theories, Denise, in some theories, but it's not a proven fact though. Some
Yes,
theories.
so just in the off chance that the theory
All right.
is
All right.
correct, I would do that. For reality, this is important. I will not grant humans the ability to change reality, but to accept it, because there's a not lot of denialists out there that don't want to accept reality and are either in, like in denial or,
You mean the
you know
flat earthers?
deferring, or like, exactly. So I will give them the ability to know this shit is real, guys. Okay, we can't deny it, we can't pretend it doesn't exist, we can't twist it around. That's what I would give them. And then I would give them actual powerful strength, because the fourth infinity stone grants strength and power. I would give them that so they could build things, but I would remove their ability to war with each other. So just strength to
So
build, to
you're taking away free will? Are you taking
No,
away
no,
free
no.
will?
No, just like for example, you could have the strength to what's a good idea? You could have the strength to move a chair, but
To
that
build
doesn't
to
give you
build
the strength
houses.
to throw the chair. So something like that. Just so you can't hurt people. And
But
then
taking
time,
away the choice for conflict is taking
honey,
away.
who's wielding it? You don't get to question my power right now.
You have the stones.
I
It's
have
your
the
rules.
stones,
You have
bitch.
the
I have the
stones.
You
stones.
are the one with the cojones.
Yeah,
You
baby.
are the one with the cojones.
This one, it's like the tribe has spoken, and I have the immunity necklace or some
Right,
shit.
right,
You
right,
can't kick me
right,
out of my power. All right, so the
right.
last two, the Infinity Stone for time, I would actually give humans the ability to use time more productively. It doesn't mean they're not going to waste time, but each wasting of time is done for a productive
You mean
reason.
you're gonna turn everybody into Germans?
Hell yeah, there's a reason. No, just kidding. No, but really, the ability to be productive with time, and that means appreciating time, knowing, that some things you do have to wait for. That doesn't mean you're not productive if you have to wait. Good things come to those who
Right,
wait too.
right, right.
And the last, which is my favorite, the Soul Stone. I just want everybody to give a shit about everybody else, and I
You
would
just
give
want to
them
give
using the
ginger people souls.
I would give
You're gonna
everybody,
turn everybody into an empath.
yes, exactly, ultimate empathy. Ultimate empathy, where you can appreciate another soul. You can't control it, but you will ultimately appreciate it. And then I will let the humankind do what they need to do, given their new powers. That's it. Bam.
It's it's these are great plans, Denise, but you have to, in every decision of great power, there is some sort of folly. This is one thing that's been proven time and again. How about you, Martin? What would you do, and where would you put the stones first?
Oh man,
I'm taking them off, and I'm
Oh,
going to
sorry,
virtually
Martin.
pass
Before you
them.
answer, Denise, can you? Vanessa has a great comment. Do you mind reading it?
Okay,
It's
sure. I
great
will read
comment.
the comment. I will read the comment of Vanessa. Vanessa's comment is, I'd give everybody an extra 2 years to make up the quarantine time that we lost. That is an
That's fucking great.
amazing gift. Amazing
That's
gift.
amazing. The time stone would do that, right? Sorry, Martin. Go ahead.
that's true. First of all, I would wear the stones on my
Oh my
on
God.
my teeth.
You're like
I
that
would
rapper
You're
make
gonna
it
make
my
guy. What's his name?
grills,
6ix9ine?
motherfuckers.
What's the name of that rapper? The 6ix9ine? What's his name? Something 6 with the yeah, dude.
69 or whatever. Yeah, man, that's gonna be me, man. Fucking infinity stones in my entire mouth. Like, yeah, so that's definitely it. I don't know how I'm gonna use them though. Every time I clap my teeth,
every time you smile. When you smile.
that's gonna be a lot of wishes coming true. Like just. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh man, it's gonna be.
Well, firstly, there are loads of things I would do, but firstly, I would reverse my receding hairline.
Yeah, I mean, if you gotta, you know what they say, before you fix other people, you gotta fix your own damn self.
Exactly, man. You know me, Denise, man. That's exactly that's exactly where I was going with that. Um, you had a very nice answer, Denise. It was very, very thought through. I haven't thought through it so much, but something that really caught me was more, I guess, personal things. I would like to see either or both the beginning and the end of time.
That's a time stone.
Yeah,
That's
I, I
great.
would
That would be
I would
great.
love to like staring onto the horizon, or like a mountain range, or like that feeling of of
Uh,
grandeur, but just the
you
ultimate view,
you have to
which
be
is
careful,
either the beginning or
Martin.
the end of time.
You have to be careful with that. You have to protect yourself with some sort of
Well, then he'll
rational
combine himself with a mind
shield.
stone. So yeah, he'll fix
Yeah,
his
you can
mind with the
control
mind
yourself.
stone
Yeah,
to
you
be
Guys,
can.
able
guys,
to fix
guys,
that shit.
guys,
Yeah.
no. man. Why would
We're
I
As
totally
want?
though
nerding
everything
out.
has
We're
Why?
totally nerding out, and
Why?
Martin's like, "Dude, this is my fucking show. Shut up."
Why would I? Why would I want to live if there's no more time? Right? It's like
okay,
the
okay.
big finale. It's like going
All right.
out great. You know,
All right.
that
All
would
right.
be awesome. Um,
You know, there's a wonderful Indian proverb about that. That there was a guru and a student, and the student was asking the guru, "Let me know when I am ready for enlightenment." And finally, after years of being with this guru, he says to his student, "Now you're ready for enlightenment." And he takes a big stick, raises it high over the guy's head, the student's head, smashes it over his head, and kills the student. The thing is, though, the proverb talks about in that fleeting moment right before death, he was enlightened.
Crazy. You know, there was a movie about that. It's called Martyrs, a French movie. It's called Martyrs. It has the same premise. Crazy. Sorry, Martin. What else would you do? God, Martin.
um, yeah, but yeah, I would like to. I had to experience one of those, and I keep on. I just was thinking about. It's kind of like. Have you seen the movie Lucy with Scarlett
Yes.
Yeah,
Johansson?
Yeah.
Johansson.
Right.
Luc Besson. That was actually good.
So when she reaches, like talking about you talked about earlier with brain capacity, when she reaches 100% brain capacity, where does she go?
Nowhere. She's
Poof.
part of.
She
Everything.
they
She became
teleport
part
into
of.
a scene where she is with Lucy, which is that monkey, like the first monkey they found with human tendencies. So she basically goes back to the beginning of humankind.
She goes forward and then she goes back at the same time. Bam.
Yeah.
The time for her was different now. It's not
Yeah,
linear
but
anymore.
that would be the same with the Infinity Stones, right? That would be the
That
same with
would
the
be the
Infinity
same.
Stones. Time would be
Probably
it's
most
different.
probably. Most probably.
But that was probably what I would do. So I wouldn't save shit. I'm totally selfish, man. I would just be like, guys, see you. I'm going to the end of time. Bye bye.
Poof.
You know what?
And
There
I would smile on the way with my grills. Yeah.
there was some writers theorized that if you see the end of time, you have to have a ninth level intellect. Meaning, there's only in the comic book world, in the DC universe, there's only two people with a ninth level intellect. It's Lex Luthor and
And Martin.
but anyways,
Martin
Lex
Luther?
Luthor.
Just kidding.
Anyways, Lex Luthor went to see that the start of it all, the very beginning, and he almost he went crazy. He went crazy. He went nuts. He can't comprehend
He
it,
went what? He
even
went
he
what?
has the,
He
he went
went
Nuts.
nuts.
nuts. Yeah, cheers, everybody. I'm bringing back the age old tradition of having a drink when the word nuts gets said on the Naked Under the Table show.
Okay,
Cheers, everybody.
I want to read Red's comment. Okay, pressure. He said, ganito na lang. This is what he'll do. I'd give five of them to any of these: Mandela, Oprah, my dad, Stephen Hawking, and the Dalai Lama. They'd know what to do with the stones. that's actually that's actually a well thought
I'm
plan
actually
because
good with all of this except Oprah. Except Oprah. I lost
Yeah.
respect.
Oprah will probably give things away like, yeah, everybody gets a
Yes,
car. You
you
get
get
a
an Infinity
car.
Stone. You get an Infinity Stone. Everybody gets an Infinity Stone.
Oh, I think that's one rule of the Infinity Stone, though. You can't duplicate them
I know it's
itself.
called a joke. It's called a
Okay,
joke.
I'm just
Yeah.
sharing it.
What
I'm
kind
just
of
sharing
an
it. Comic
finished?
book lore.
What kind of stones are they if they can't duplicate themselves? That's not very
I,
infinite.
I don't know. These are writers'
Sure.
prerogatives.
They
Anyways,
should.
it is great to have that much power. I wouldn't want to have that much power, but if in the crazy scenario that I do, and all of you probably hate me for this, but I'd probably more or less trim down some.
Turn the lights
You know,
off.
I trim down some. I think what what time has, what history dictates, it's easier. It was always easier to contain and arrange and things of that are of smaller size. So that's I guess that's it.
Essentially,
Sometimes
guys, he's of the Thanos mindset. Let's just say it.
sometimes
Yeah.
guys, uh, a smaller company is easier to maintain than a larger one. Right? That's where I'm going with this. And
Well,
you know what he said? What you know what Thanos said in the movie, if I can remember correctly, he said, "You guys should be thanking me. I bought you millenniums to fix yourselves, to fix your shit. I didn't want to rule you. I just bought you a millennia to fix yourself, to fix your shit.
but
You should be
but
thanking me." He said that.
but
Something like that.
this is a big but.
But it's a big
Of all the
debate.
things, of all the things Thanos did, right? He did not banish himself.
But he did. He went into exile. He exiled himself. He wanted to just
He
Yeah,
run.
didn't.
he killed half of the universe and then he went into
Right.
exile, right?
He did.
So this is my point. As long as, if you want to go a Thanos way, that's fine, but it becomes hypocritical if you're not willing to disappear yourself.
Yep.
You should disappear yourself. I don't think you want to. I wouldn't want to be a ruler of any kind. I wouldn't. That's the last thing I want to do. I don't even want to lead my own band, or even more so a country or the world or a race in that sense. So never
And
mind.
it's interesting
What?
because Martin was just joking earlier about he just, used the Infinity Stones for himself. And I made this joke about because if you can't fix yourself, you don't have any business fixing anybody else. And that's
Right.
his point with Thanos. You get to
Right.
live. If you feel you need to cut off half the planet or the
Cut
universe,
yourself off. Cut
yeah,
yourself off.
boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Start with yourself, mate,
That's right. That's right. That's right. I totally agree.
and get some
Uh,
grills.
Get some grills. Thanos and grills. That would be fucking interesting, I will say.
or I'd give dolphins feet, legs, and the ability to walk on land, and probably they'll take over the world.
Yeah,
It
that
might
would
be
be
a better
nice.
world,
Oh, that's a
better
great.
world run by dolphins.
Yeah, and
Smart
dogs, and
or
dogs,
smart
dolphins and
creatures.
dogs. Yeah,
Yeah, canines, no, but it might be they might be like pissing all over the place. They'll be marking their territory wherever they go. That's gonna be a stinky world. Okay, moving on, guys. I can't stop clapping. Ay, nako. Sorry, sorry, Q. Okay, moving on. A last farewell. This is now the end of the world. Whatever that scenario may be, it's up to you. Meteorite's gonna crash. The virus is now gonna destroy and kill all of us. Uh, a giant flood is gonna engulf the world. Whatever you want. The sun is about to explode. You pick. You have the opportunity, though, to give a final speech to humankind. You are going to be listened to. People will pay attention to you for some reason. Kasi probably you're, going back to question two, you're a high ranking official in the WHO or the UN. Now, all is
Or you
watching
have
you.
the Infinity Stones.
Or you have the infinite stones. It's up to you. But you're not going to use it for this scenario, for this question. You're not going to use the stones if you want to put that scenario in that
basically,
into place.
our destruction is yeah,
Inevitable.
or
Okay.
it's what do you call it? Yeah,
All right. But you have the microphone for the whole world to listen. Every camera is pointed at you. They are awaiting your final words. What will you say? For this, Denise, I want to know what you're gonna
oh
say.
man. All right, our destruction is imminent. And I first will caveat, I do agree that the best speeches should be written by yourself. But I also agree that imitation is the best form of flattery. So I did a little bit of both. Also, because I didn't have a lot of time, guys. I didn't have a lot of time. So I have taken a part of a speech by a guy called Oliver Sacks, and I've adapted it a little bit. So it's a little bit, you know, adapted from the original. But this is the speech. Here we depart from home. While we have enjoyed loving relationships and friendships and have no real enmities, we cannot say, nor would anyone who knows the human race say, that we are of mild dispositions. On the contrary, we are men of vehement disposition, with violent enthusiasms and extreme immoderation in all our passions. We cannot pretend we are without fear, but our predominant feeling should be one of gratitude. We have loved and been loved. We have been given much, and we have given much in return. We have read and traveled and thought and written. We have had intercourse with the world. Above all, we have been sentient beings, thinking animals on this beautiful planet. And that in itself has been an enormous privilege and adventure.
Mic drop.
Mic drop, mic drop.
Thank you. It's
Uh, Additional info. That your speech will be translated to all languages.
right. And that's why I kind of
Yeah,
wrote
so
it
can
that
we
way.
get it? Can we get it in Russian?
Okay, hang on. Here we depart from home.
That doesn't sound right.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing while doing it.
Desderovia. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
Yet.
Niet. That's the Rovia. Cheers! I'll just get a glass of vodka and just go. That's the Rovia.
But the
Oh,
reason I,
um,
I did
yeah.
this is because personally, if I heard somebody else read this out for the entire world, damn, dude, I'd be ready to
Diba?
go. I'd be ready to
Yeah.
damn go. Yeah.
How about you? How about you, Martin? I want to hear your final words. President Martin.
Um, President Martin. We emerged together into the light, and now we'll go together into the dark. And what a ride it's been.
Lovely. Lovely.
That's short and sweet, Martin. Short and
I
sweet.
love it. I
People will
love it. I
probably
love
be
it. I love it.
partying. People will probably be partying while they're listening to your speech. They'll be pissed drunk, drinking their lives away, having sex and all that. They're gonna be having
I
the
will
ultimate
definitely
party.
be high enough to be on another planet. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't saying you don't dread the extinction of humanity is not the right way to say anything or to engage with that problem. But we don't know where we came from, and we don't know where we go when it's over. Like um the whole concept of consciousness and where it comes from, we basically have no clue. And the only thing we know is that we're built out of the same thing that the rest of the universe is built out of, and when we die, we will probably
Carbon,
become the same thing that
right?
the rest of the universe is built out of.
Right.
So yeah, it's a brief window of light, and we'll enjoy it while we have it, and be ready to embrace the darkness when we come to the end of it, hopefully gracefully. Yeah, so I wouldn't have much to say. Like, it also depends on what way we're going out, right? But I probably wouldn't have much
Right.
to say. It's
Right.
just,
Right. I'll probably
it was
be
a great
drunk doing
night.
the speech. I'll be probably pissed drunk doing the speech. I'll be like,
Well,
where's the mic? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Sige na, okay na, gagawin ko na. Ganun. I'd be
Oh my
probably
god.
doing that.
This would be like totally Jamestown levels. Like, you know how Jim Jones was like so
Jim
drugged when he
Jones
gave his
style. Let
Three
us all drink
mass
the
suicide
proverbial
speech.
Kool-Aid.
Damn, dude.
We have done enough. We have sped up our stay faster than when we should have. I now all bid you all farewell and pray that your belief in whatever
And
God
remember,
is real.
remember,
Is
the
real.
drunker you are, the better everything feels. So let's hope that works for death too.
Oh my God! I think if that happens, people will be ransacking. The most would be probably alcohol. No, there's gonna be an alcohol war. People will be like stocking in alcohol and just gonna get so pissed drunk just to numb the inevitable. No, the
That's why you got
destruction.
to be well prepared. Bunkers and stuff. Just forget about it. Just stockpile alcohol. That's my
In
best.
a lot of
Diba?
movies, there are a lot of scenes where that actually happens. Not necessarily the
Right.
entire population, but you know how they have vignettes of different people, and one of them is at the end. Either there's a big flood and they're going to get flooded, or there's a big meteor and they're the first one going to get hit. There's always that one scene where a bunch of them just lean back, pop open a bottle of scotch, and just cheers
You
it
know
away.
what? When you think about it, Denise,
Embrace the inevitable, man.
I think the meteor or the sun exploding would be the best option for me for an extinction, for world extinction, because that's almost instant. Eh. You'll be eradicated, incinerated instantly. You'd probably not feel that much. You'd probably feel like what? A split second, and that's it. Unlike a flood, where you still have the chance to like drown and swim and actually be thinking of your life and your life flashing in your mind, that's gonna be even worse. I think
I
if
just
for an
realized
extinction
maybe
level.
one thing, like going back to your question, if you were in a position of power and
Hmm,
the destruction is imminent, like imminent
right.
sedatives, dude, like some really, really strong ass freaking,
Well,
sleeping pill or Prozac
I'm
like
sure.
thing, or,
I'm
something
sure.
that just lights
I'm
out,
sure.
everybody go to
I'm
bed,
sure.
we'll see
I'm
you
sure
on the
people
other
will.
side when we wake up.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure people will be
then
reverting to that. That's a
if
given.
it
That's a given.
happens, I hope it happens quick. But I think it's hard to say, but I think I would like to feel it. Not like,
Really.
if I would hope that it happens quick, but if it doesn't happen quick, I want to die conscious. I don't want my last minute on Earth
See,
to
You
that's
know
be
the
funny.
heavily
sad.
sedated.
I have a very different point of view. I'd rather be like asleep or like completely
Right.
knocked out through it all. Like
Right.
I'd rather have that. Like, so
Right.
if there was a choice that you could take that magic pill to just knock you out,
Mm.
I'd do that. And then there you
You
go.
know the sad reality is, the sad theory is, a lot of probably people would be killing their loved ones beforehand just
But
to
that
save them from that
that's not
pain.
unlike, like, that happens all the time. All the time, I say, but in extreme situations, it really, really
Right.
happens. Like, people will kill their families before they kill themselves.
Right. Right.
In war times, especially, these kind of things happen to
Really
avoid suffering. that's not
suffering.
that's that's not even a theory. Like, that happens.
It's gonna probably happen, right? So there's gonna be probably a lot of guns that's gonna be ransacked by people, and just for the mere fact of doing a family suicide for their loved ones. It's horrible. It's a horrible thought, but yeah, it's very plausible.
Yep.
Ugh. So depressing. Sorry, guys. Let us move up to something a little bit more fun, and let us go back to science fiction and movies. And I want to know your top five favorite extinction movies. Let's stick to movies, not series. And I want to also know, can you give me a brief explanation why you love those particular movies? Martin, what do you? I want to know your top five. A
You
list.
had notes for the movie question, but no written speech down. Tisk tisk, Johnson. What the hell?
Denise, you
Yeah,
knew
man,
that
but
we're going to be writing
I
a
tell
long
you, I can
speech,
stand in
so
front of a mic and I can talk for hours without prep, but remembering a list of movies, man, no chance. No chance. Um. Okay. I'll try to mix it because I have a few serious ones and I have a few non-serious ones, and I have different scenarios as well. Um. I I want to say to all the movie connoisseurs out there, I am a fucking retard when it comes to movies. So if you don't like my
No,
choices,
fuck you.
anyway, yeah, exactly right. The day after tomorrow, I chose the day after tomorrow not because essentially should be because of climate change or whatnot, but just because it's probably the first movie I remember really liking about extinction. Although they don't all get extinct, but quite a lot of people do. And there is a specific scene, I believe it's in that movie, there's a specific scene that I like incredibly much, and that's the scene where a daughter, so a part of these people trying to save earth and assisting the president and whatnot, they know that time is off for them. So the daughter and the father, they fly out to their vacation home, which has meant
Yeah,
a lot in their life, and they
right.
stand there at the beach watching the sunset as the tsunami comes in and
That
then
was
just
actually that's a
engulfs them both.
powerful scene. I remember that scene. It's a powerful scene.
And imagine, well, I don't know if there's a preferred way to go, but there's something beautiful about that. Like, to me, there's something beautiful about that. So that's why I
I
remember that
agree. I
movie.
agree. I agree.
Yeah,
And I think the shot of how it was done to how small they were in relation
to the
to
tsunami.
death.
So
You
the
know.
what? Yeah, yeah,
Because death
yeah.
is so all encompassing, and it's really
Right.
so much bigger than anything we can possibly comprehend. And that one shot was just so visually stunning, not because of the mere emotion and poignancy, but because of the representation of how big death is.
How
When it's about to
insignificant you
exactly when
are.
it's about to hit you, there is nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. So yeah. So
Right.
that's great. Another one is, and that's simply because I love these guys. But that's this is the end. I love that movie, man. I,
I will put
I, I
that
love
in
that
my
movie
list.
with Seth
Yeah,
Rogen and
that's
James
funny.
Franco, man. I love those guys. Like, I love those movies. So those, it's not because of anything. It's just
Yeah,
funny,
yeah, I
man.
know.
It's
Funny.
just so funny.
You
So
were see Michael Cera, di ba? Michael Cera was an asshole.
I'm
uh,
totally, I'm totally the Emma Watson in that movie. You guys realize that, right? Like this
yeah,
badass
yeah.
bitch that's like,
You killed Hermione! You killed Hermione! They are calling her
totally her
Hermione.
in that movie
Uh,
though.
I mean, if Emma Watson showed up in my house, I would call her Hermione as well. So, man, I'm
Me
totally, I'm
too.
totally on. Another one. So not all of these are complete extinction movies, but I guess there's not really a lot of complete extinction movies, right? I'm not sure. I'm no expert, but another one I like, and this is probably more of like my own of myself romanticizing about life on the road, but that's Mad Max.
Oh, the first
One
one
or
till the
two,
last one is
one or two though, because
beautiful.
two is pretty
So
good
so
too. Yeah.
yeah, man.
The
I'm
whole
I'm so
series,
sorry,
man. The whole
but
series.
again, as I said, I'm not a big movie person. So for me, I've mostly seen the Tom Hardy version, right?
Oh, that's
Oh, that's
I
a good
don't
beautiful.
one. That's a good
That's a
one. Yeah,
beautiful.
that's a good one. Yeah, yeah.
Charlize Theron, but the concept of kind of like this post apocalyptic world, and you
Right.
kind of being completely independent and relying on yourself.
And
I don't
water
know.
is
It's
the
just,
biggest commodity. Right. Right.
yeah, but that's probably just me romanticizing about that, like the life on the road kind of thing. But it does speak to me, so I like that movie.
And
Very
and there's
similar
and there
reason.
right.
Huh?
Then there's one thing that that movie proves. Whatever Charlize Theron does, she's still pretty.
Yeah, man. No hair, no hair, no arm,
Without
no
an arm,
arm.
it's still fucking hot.
Doesn't
Come
matter.
on, Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
God
That
damn
is
it.
true. That is true.
Another one down that alley is I Am Legend,
Ah,
and
yeah.
I like that, first of all, because I grew up on Will Smith movies.
Right.
So I really liked his movies growing up, and I Am Legend was kind of like the one of the first, I think, and only ones he did that was kind of
Martin,
like
fun
that.
Martin, fun fact for you. if you like that movie, I would love to suggest the Omega Man. It's the
Actually,
original. That's where it
actually,
came from.
yeah,
That's where it came from. It's a
actually,
remake.
yeah,
I Am Legend's a remake of the Omega
of
Man,
the
which
Omega
was done in the
Man.
60s by
60s,
Mo
70s, 60s,
around
60s.
around the early 60s by Moses himself, Charleston Heston, the played the Omega Man. I would please
And
I'll
watch
he's
it if
try.
you have
also
time.
in another movie that's in my list. So just hang on.
So I'll try that one. The last one I have is also another shits and giggles. It's Shaun of the Dead. That's the only zombie movie that I have ever watched to the end.
I
I
love
hate
that movie.
zombie apocalypse, but Shaun of the Dead is an absolutely amazing movie.
I think it's gonna
So
be a classic. I think it's a classic. It's
yeah,
gonna be
man.
up there in one of the best, funniest zombie movies ever.
Uh, so yeah, that's my actually my six. Yeah, that was actually six. So no, that was
That's
You
five.
okay. It's
Sorry,
cheater!
I can't count. I can't
It's
count.
You
It
okay.
was five.
cheater!
Amazing list, Martin. It's an amazing list. Thank you. And I love to know. And to the people listening, I hope you guys, if you haven't seen it, check out Martin's list because it's all good movies. Especially my favorite in your list is probably
Mad
the
Max.
Mad Max. Yeah,
Yeah, Mad
definitely.
Max for
Mad
sure.
Max would be
And then
probably one of
maybe
the
the
best.
Omega Man as an original. Yeah, as an original. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A listener just commented, Christelle. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, her one of her favorites also. Yeah, Mad Max.
No,
Galing,
Shaun of the
galing.
Dead. Shaun of the Dead
Sorry,
was
Shaun of the
original.
Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead,
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the funniest. Yeah, it's hard to pick. No, what if you're gonna pick one? Shaun of the Dead or this is the end.
Wait. Oh, wait. Okay. Because I have a
Shaun of the
different
Hard,
one.
Dead.
no?
I have a
Yeah,
different
me
one on
too.
my
Shaun
list.
of the Dead.
I have a different one.
I'll go.
Okay. All right.
All right. I want to know Denise's. I want to know Denise's list.
So it's so funny because my first one, without thinking, was "This Is the End," right? Because I think, but I removed it because I realized I like another one better, and it's funny because it's the same guys that starred in Shaun of the Dead. My favorite funny Extinction movie is The World's End. Okay, The
Yeah,
World's
that,
End
that was also good.
is
Same
freaking
actor.
hilarious. So The
Yeah, yeah,
World's
yeah.
End has and Rosamund Pike is in it, and that's why it's hilarious too, because she's like part of this whole crew. Rosamund Pike, can you imagine?
Rosamund
Um,
Pike. Oh.
yeah, let me just read out the people who starred in it because they're the same people. Exactly. You had Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Martin Freeman, and the premise of why I like it is, how we were just talking about people running for alcohol when the world ends?
Right, right.
So the world is ending and they're going to do the ultimate pub crawl and just get this shit done because they hadn't completed a pub crawl since they were in college. And for those
Yeah,
of
when
you
they were
that
kids.
don't
Yeah.
know what a pub crawl is, the nature of the game is you have to go to a certain predetermined number of pubs or bars and you have to drink there. And the funny thing is, there is a bar in the movie called The World's End, and that's usually the last bar, and they never get there because they always get so piss shit drunk. And I love it because apart from true, we're probably gonna all be grabbing for pints when the world ends. We have to remember that in any disaster or any bad thing, sometimes laughter really is the best medicine. And we
Yeah.
haven't brought that up yet,
Definitely. Definitely.
we should start making things fun and light and just learn to laugh at things that otherwise we can't do anything about anyway. So
Especially at the end of it all, I think it's nice to get go out in laughter.
Go
exactly.
out with a laugh.
Exactly. So for those of you that love to laugh and drink and want to watch an extinction movie with those two involved, I highly recommend The World's End. So my second, so the first is The World's End because it's funny. My second is Deep Impact
Ah,
because it's
sakit,
possible.
heavy.
Because it's
Yeah,
possible. And I did start with that's a really plausible theory that a meteor is going to hit us. And yes, there's a reason why I didn't pick Armageddon, guys, because it's essentially the same damn plot. But Deep Impact, really, like Armageddon was just, it's like the soap
and and
opera
and
of,
Morgan Freeman as the president. That's gonna be like the coolest president. I would love to hear his speech.
right? And like Deep Impact for me was super, oh my gosh, because it's possible, because I knew it was possible. And that's and Tia Leone, he's always pretty. So we got
Yeah.
Deep
And the
Impact.
last scene, 'di ba, when they were looking at the tsunami coming in their beach house na. That was also a very powerful scene
Exactly. It
with
was
her
like
dad.
Martin's one. It was like Martin's.
Same scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Same.
that's where they got it. The where Martin's movie came from, what that scene came from.
They
I think
borrowed from that scene, right?
they
Yeah.
borrowed from Deep Impact.
Because
Yeah.
his is in Day of Tomorrow and Deep Impact came first. Yeah. Deep Impact
That,
came first.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think so. But again, I'm not sure. But I
Yeah.
believe it was in
So
Day
my
of Tomorrow.
third movie is Children of Men. And it's a little
Good choice. Good choice. I will take that out from my list now because you already picked that.
Oh,
I'll
I'm
take it out
sorry.
now.
Okay.
That's
So
okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's okay.
Children
There's
of
so much.
Men,
There's so much,
I
Denise.
love it
There's so
because
much.
it's not your typical extinction story. You know how sometimes it has to be a meteor or a flood or whatever. And this one was a lot softer. And I particularly resonated with this because it kind of has that circadian thing that I was talking about where it's possible and soft. So in Children of Men, it suddenly happens that humans can't reproduce. They're all
Galing
infertile,
yan.
right? And
Clive
so it's
Owen.
a natural extinction of human
Galing.
proportions that has nothing to do with any kind of sun explosion or meteor or nothing. It's what
No.
happens when we can't
It's
reproduce.
it's ang galing yan kasi it was life's way. It was the universe or life's or nature's way to keep us in check. For some reason,
Yep.
just nature just made us stop reproducing because you guys are too much. It's just nature's way of check and balance. It's amazing. It's an amazing film.
And it's also really depressing, actually. It's really depressing. And it's not because a lot of the extinction stories are either scary or fascinating or to a certain degree even cool. Children of Men is just fucking depressing. It's just fucking depressing. So
Can I
those of you
can I
with a
add,
strong
Denise?
constitution, yeah, yeah.
Right? Can I add that that movie was shot one take. It was all follow cam, so it's pretty
Brilliantly
jarring watching.
directed. Yeah.
It's
And it's Clive Owen, guys. It's Clive Owen. So Clive Owen is always awesome. So let's give some props to the man. My fourth cannot not be on a top 5 list for Extinction. Planet of the Apes, guys. Planet
Man, I'm
of the
gonna take
Apes.
that out. Why you? Pareho tayo. Now what am I gonna pick?
Planet
O
of the
sige.
Apes because it's scary. It is
It
fucking
is.
scary.
It is.
Like,
It is.
and to talk about, Martin's allusion to Lucy and how she went back
Right.
to Lucy the monkey. Yeah, what if exactly Lucy the monkey was also, you could actually do a cross universe where Lucy the monkey is the first monkey that actually starts these apes overtaking. So if you guys haven't heard about Planet of the Apes, I'm actually surprised, but I highly recommend you watch the first one with, again, Charleston Heston. It's a
My God,
really, really good.
can I add some facts because it was written by one of my favorite writers, Rod Serling, the creator of Twilight Zone, wrote Planet of the Apes, and in this awesome story, we were the aliens. We thought that we went. Okay, not to spoil anything, but guys, this is a 50-year-old movie. I'm sure
So
everybody
if you
from
haven't seen it, too bad, man. Spoiler
too
alert.
bad. I'm gonna spoil it. They come to a planet and they thought it was some sort of crazy monkey planet, and at the end they find out it's Earth. And in the last ending, Charleston Heston was so pissed. God
Why, God? Why?
damn you all! God damn you all to hell! And he was blaming the human race for their folly, that we destroyed it,
Their
and
arrogance, our
their
human
arrogance.
arrogance. Yeah.
And going back to the prequels, the recent movies of Planet of the Apes, which I have to tell you guys is one of the best prequels ever made. For me, it's not a remake; it's a prequel.
Guys, Tim Roth, and that's all I'm gonna
Tim
say.
Roth.
Tim
Oh
Roth,
no,
and
that's the
that's all.
other one. That's the other
And
one
then
with
you can layer Helena Bonham Carter on there, and then we're
yeah,
good.
she
We're
was there.
golden. We're
She was
golden.
there.
That's
But
it.
I'm talking
That's all.
about
We need to know.
I'm talking about with the movie with James Franco, where the premise was they were trying to save they're trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's. They were trying to
Yeah.
find a cure for Alzheimer's. So this is a very noble cause to find a cure. Instead of finding a cure, they started our demise. We created a virus, which was a theory of Stephen Hawking, one of his theories for world extinction. Is
One man's
we'd
cure is
probably
another man's catastrophe.
we would probably create our own destruction from either a man-made virus or a serum, a cure
Okay,
that we thought would be a cure. It's amazing,
so my very
amazing, amazing,
last. So
amazing.
again, running my list: The World's End because it's funny, Deep Impact because it's possible, Children of Men because it's depressing, Planet of the Apes because it's scary, and 2012 because especially if you believe in Christian dogma, it already happened. It
It already
already
happened.
happened. Where this giant flood takes over all of us and we have to board some arcs. And I'm like, damn, dude, it's not it's not even a possibility. It's happened, people. And this for me is my ultimate favorite movie because sometimes you just want to imagine what it might have been like when you had to live in the time of Noah and the ark and you realize what mankind can turn into where we give seats to billionaires and we have to sneak people in and it's just this devolution of
Scary, no?
humankind, but it's also a wonderful evolution of humankind because
Right, right.
some will eventually survive. And that's the other thing about extinction. It's very, very rare that a full extinction happens, at least not in that massive of a disaster calamity. It's usually a slow extinction, unless a
Yung
meteor hits us. Yeah.
right. Yung 2012, I remember the scene there when they said John Cusack asked, "You were able to build arcs in a few years?" Well, thank the Chinese.
Chinese.
So that's all China made. So go wrong.
Mhm.
But it's also, yeah, it's happened
We can
before, guys.
only go wrong. Yeah.
Back in the day, I wanted to create a meme about it. Then you'd find a made in China logo in the back of the ark saying no return in 7 days, CD arcing or something. But yeah, that's a
Good
scary
man.
story.
So be
25.
careful
But what's
about how you criticize the Chinese guys, whether it's you're blaming them for where this pandemic started or you're
they might be
lambasting.
building arcs, right? They might
Yeah,
be building arcs as we speak.
you might be eating your words because we're gonna need them arcs when they build them in the future, guys. Seriously.
Pero Denise, if your favorite movie is 2012, I think that if you're gonna be stuck in a world-ending scenario with John Cusack, I don't think that's gonna be that bad. No, you're gonna be with John Cusack, naman.
Absolutely. Although I'm also in the Children of Men because it's Clive Owen, I'm
Ah,
debated,
go with Clive Owen.
you know.
Pero galing yun. You know what? Okay. Okay, I love your list, Denise, personally, because like half of your list is my list. So
I'm sorry.
I had to revert all my choices. And yeah, I think you just gave me the top extinction movie for me is Planet of the Apes. Just for the twist of it and the noble cause. We had a noble cause to begin with, but because of corporate greed and there's so much things that Planet of the Apes can teach us. For me as a kid watching it, one would be karma. How we treated animals in testing viruses, testing vaccines.
No, even
It could
sending
be
animals
karma.
into space. We sent a dog. The Russians. Sorry
And
again.
that
We're not against
Laika,
Russians.
and
It's
she died. Yeah.
it's a historical
Yep.
fact.
Yep.
They
She
sent the
died. She
dog,
died.
and the poor dog died in space. Come on,
Of course.
guys.
Yeah. I mean that's how it is. That's and as we speak right now, that's what probably they're doing. They're probably creating better vaccines for this pandemic right now. And I don't want to even think about the countless animals that are being sacrificed for it. But we really don't have a choice, do we? We have to have that tested. That's the sad truth. Anyways, my top five that I had to instantly fix because Denise just gave most of it away that I like also. Okay, my number five would be The Road. It's a very independent film. I would love to suggest this to some people that hasn't watched it. It stars the guy who played Aragorn. What's his name? What's the actor's name?
Victor
and the Lord of the Rings.
Mortensen. Vigo
Yeah,
Mortensen.
Vito Mortensen, and in this film, it's the end of the world, but it's more of a father and son drama, and then it's just heart wrenching in the same time. Very well executed, very well shot. So that's my what's one. The next one is uh, it's not a great movie, but I love the concept, The Happening by
Yeah, it's not the
M Night
best movie,
Shyamalan.
but the premise
The
though, the
premise,
premise.
right? It's like I know it's like Children of Men. It's just a check and balance. Nature just found a way how to put us in check, how to keep us in check. And okay, you guys are too much. We'll have to trim the population down. And in the movie, in The Happening, plants started secreting pheromones that kills
That
us,
we
that kills
inhaled and
them.
killed us. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it was. And once the population gets balanced, they stopped. It's it's a very simple premise, but scary nonetheless. Okay, the next one is a classic, The Andromeda Strain. It's a virus movie, and it's starring Dustin Hoffman. It's an old movie.
The book is
There's a
better. I will tell you, the book is better.
Oh yeah. The book is amazing. I've read the book. One of the few books that I've read with no pictures. I have to say. Then thank God, thank you, Image Comics. I know, sorry, thank you, Dark Horse, for releasing a comic book version. So I read that again, and that was a better read for me. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, because another virus movie, but very well executed, and it's Dustin Hoffman. And my second to the last would be Soylent Green, another classic movie from the '60s, and it stars Moses himself, Planets of the Apes star, Charleston Heston, and in the movie,
You realize Charleston
he-
Heston was in a lot of Extinction movies, the Omega
oh
Man,
yeah,
Planet of the
oh yeah,
Apes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that's a
oh
good.
yeah,
definitely the one we call if we need an expert on extinction.
Yeah,
of
let's
If
course.
we
seance.
need a guy to point at when shit turns, like, ask that guy.
Oh,
Charles Heston.
dude, if I'm gonna
You ask that
follow a
guy.
guy, if I'm gonna follow a leader, I'm gonna follow Charleston Heston.
Heston.
Come on,
Sorry, but
enough
I've never
said.
heard of this movie that you just mentioned. What is it called again?
Okay, Soylent Green is it's a classic movie from the '60s. It's pretty famous. It won some awards. I think best screenplay. And in the movie, overpopulation has gone to crazy proportions. There are no space, and in the movie, you'll feel it. Everything is cramped with people. There's none to little space left in the world. Now, how we feed everybody, that's the twist of the movie. And it's an old film. Sorry for the spoilers, but I'm gonna spoil it. Yep, Soylent Green.
Wow,
Chris, si Cristel naman, oh,
Crystal,
just spoiled it.
you be a
And
film
yeah,
buff, man. Yeah.
and yeah, she's a film buff. And the movie, they were being fed these bars, these protein bars. And in the the protein bars, and the twist is the protein bars are people. And it makes sense because what is the biggest what's the biggest there's no more cattle in this scenario. The only source of protein, viable source of protein, is other people.
So
It's
is
like
that instead of like burning your dead, you just make them into protein bars, or do they
something like that.
actually harvest people?
They were, I you know what, they didn't point on that anymore, but I would think that they were just harvesting the dead. They were
It's like
just processing the dead.
next level organ donor. Like, you can use my
Could
body
be,
for consumption.
could be.
I'm gonna play devil's
Now,
advocate here and say if I had to eat those protein bars and they had a wagyu version where they're just people hanging on these things and they never touch the ground and they're taken care of all their life, wagyu style,
Yeah, massaged.
just massage for the whole life,
e-
the
if
wagyu protein bar.
either either that or peking people instead of a peking duck, it's a peking people. Never mind.
Yikes. Okay, we
Anyway,
gotta move on because I'm just about to throw up from the concept. Yikes. Okay, I will try to
How
watch
about
it.
halal style?
watch it. I think you can watch it in YouTube. I think it's
There should
full in
be.
YouTube.
We are inclusive here. queue, so there should be for everybody. Halal style is.
Okay, if you don't cook them, it's sushi. Sorry. Oh my goodness, this is so not funny jokes. Sorry, sorry.
Okay, okay. My favorite all-time favorite Extinction film is an actual. It's actually a new movie. It came out 2020, and it's beautiful. When I saw this, I was, my God, I was clapping. I was slow clapping to myself. This movie is just totally amazing. It took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting this to be this great. And it's called The Girl with All the Gifts. And it's an extinction movie. And it's a brand new take on vampires. How vampires operate in this world ending scenario. It's just beautifully done. I'm not going to spoil anything because it's pretty new and you can watch it. I think it's going to be on Netflix soon, but I was able to watch it on another site. I'm not going to give the site anymore because it's an illegal site. So I'm not going to say that site anymore. Anyways, please,
Unless they pay us, right?
unless they pay
Sponsorships.
us. Anyways, it's a beautiful movie. I would. It's highly recommended by a lot of critics, yeah, myself included. This movie just takes just how the human race will end, and in the same time, how vampires are explained scientifically. It's just it's fun and this and in the same time scary and in the same time
I mean,
very
because you have the protein bars from that Solient Green, we got to drink
so
something, people. We got to drink something. We can't just keep eating. So blood sounds like a pretty nifty
I
option
mean, I
there.
will
I'm gonna
refer to Waterworld and say if you're eating people, then you can also drink pee.
your drink your pee.
touche,
That's actually
touche.
Extinction. We're a post-apocalyptic movie, Waterworld. That's also another one. Well, one of the biggest flops, by the way. Anyways, uh, my last before we end the show, guys, I want to know lang your personal preference, your personal thoughts, and I want to know in a serious note, how long do we think we have? And you can give your final notes before we end. Also, Martin, how long do we think? Do you think personally the human race has?
So now we gotta go. We gotta dig deep. Um. Well, basically, my answer to this question is I don't want to be too conservative, but I see it in one way, like, so I don't know how long we're gonna have, but I am not personally a believer that we will go extinct by our own measure anytime soon. I don't subscribe to that. That's not the world that I see. It's not a theory I subscribe to, and I don't believe there's empirical evidence that says so. That, like, I mean, we can talk about
Right,
problems that we would face, but actual extinction is different than problems.
right,
So in that case, I don't know. But the real thing for me is, and that's where the individual life and the longevity of our race, to me, um are similar, is we don't know when it can be. Anything can happen. I can go out tomorrow. I need to go somewhere to look at something. I can get run over. I can get cancer. I can get, man, so many things can happen that you have no idea. And I in terms of the extermination of the human race, it's more or less the same. I won't say we're gonna die tomorrow, but we don't know when it's gonna happen, and it could happen on a short notice. So because of that, because of the arbitrary relationship we have to death, or the arbitrariness of death, I would just refer to a very similar philosophy, which I also would refer to on an individual level, which is try to live out your potential. Try to figure out every day, what can I do today to be a little bit better than I was yesterday, and live as many days as you can like that, although it might not be every moment of every day. Try to live as many days as you can like that, and as long as you can get that sorted on an individual level, then you would have done your part to make sure that humankind lasts that little longer. and you would also make the most out of your own life. So yeah, so that's basically it for me.
Okay. How about you, Denise?
Well, barring disasters that we can't control, like the sun supernovaing or a meteor hitting us, all the things that are honestly beyond our human capacity to control or influence, I would say that the time we have until we end is entirely up to how much we value human life in general. To a degree, Martin was already talking about this, that you should live life to the fullest. I think you should live life for the next generation. If each generation continues to live life with an awareness that they're not the last generation and they're always going to try to leave the world a better place for the next generation, we have a long way to go. And really, that's kind of why we end up in the problems we have today is many generations, thankfully today we're not as bad, but many of the generations prior just lived for their lifetime. And in the
Right.
last century or so, thankfully, and funnily enough, because of proper education and information dissemination, the world
Right.
at large is aware that there is a limit, not just to our human lives, but to the resources in the world that we live in. And as long as we now continue to have the mindset to protect those that come after, I think we have a good long chance of staying human for a very long time.
Right. Well said, Denise. I totally agree. I think as long as the next generation has to progress, I think the next generation has to keep on getting better. That's my take on it. With if without progress, for me, what's the point? I think they have to be better. We're leaving
It's
them
funny
with
how
problems.
when you're a kid, you're taught that every time you borrow something from somebody, you have to return it better than when you first got it. So if you
Right.
borrow somebody's car, the polite thing to do is return the car with a full tank of gas.
Type of gas.
If you
Right.
stay in
Right.
somebody's house, the right thing is to clean it up before you leave that house.
Right. Right.
The earth is
Same
a
mindset.
borrowed space. Yeah, the earth is a borrowed space, guys. So could
Same
we
mindset.
not treat it the same way and leave it better
We should. We
than
should.
the way we
Yep.
found
Yep.
it?
Yep. Yep. And yeah, you're right. That definitely, that's the case. And I would love to. I would be I would love to think, and I'm hoping that the next generation will be a lot better than us. Will have better insight, better managing skills in terms of environmental. I think that if it keeps on progressing to a certain degree upwards, I think we have a big chance of surviving anything, and maybe reach a certain stage in evolution that we were talking about a while ago, Martin, a type 4 civilization, maybe in the future. Who knows? And on that note, I would love to thank everybody for listening. We have a live stream, we have a podcast in StreamYard and in Spotify. And please like and join our Nuts group. And you can suggest anything there, what everything that we talked about, all the movie lists that we just discussed. We're gonna put it all there. I'm gonna post some links, hopefully, to some streaming sites that you can watch the movies and enjoy it as much as we have. Thank you, everybody, and join us again next week for what's our next episode again? Sorry, Denise. Our next
We're
episode
gonna talk.
is
We won't announce it, but it's another episode Redux, hosted by
okay. Okay.
Martin this time. Yeah, but
All
hosted by
right. All
Martin
right.
this time. Yeah.
All right. And yeah, and I hope you guys join us again for next week. This has been Nuts. I'm Elsie, Martin, and Denise. Thank you so much, and good night. Have a great week.